Welcome to this week's Harness Racing Alumni Show. I'm Freddie Hudson, and I'm here as always with Trade Martin and Bob Marks. This week's Harness Racing Alumni Show is sponsored by Winbak Farm Canada's newest stallion, Captain's Quarters. The son of Captain Treacherous is standing his first season with a stud fee of $5,000 Canadian. For more information or to book a breeding, call 905-838-2145 or email stallions@winbakfarm.com. Captain's Quarters. Also, the Meadowlands Racetrack. Visit playthemeadowlands.com. And Hunterton Farm, breeding champions year after year. Visit huntertonfarm.com.
The Harness Racing Alumni Show with your hosts, Freddie Hudson and Trade Martin.
Joining us today, special edition, we have Larry Rolla and Joe Guarino. Larry and Joe, welcome back to the Harness Racing Alumni Show.
Hey, how you doing, Freddie?
Hi, guys.
Larry, we have a lot of people contacting us, asking how you're doing, and there are people that are concerned about you and just want to know what's going on. So we'll get it directly from you.
Well, all right. Well, first, let me say hello to you guys. I haven't talked to you in a while. Second, I have to give a big thanks to the other guy on the line here, Joe Guarino. Without his help, without even asking, and this is very important for everybody out there to know, I never asked. I never met Joe. Joe says I met him in passing years and years back. I don't remember it, but back in years back, there's a lot of things I don't remember. But when Joe found out that I had a problem without me knowing about it, he contacted a lot of people on the podcast and some old friends. And when I found out about it, I was very, very, very mad. I was very upset. I didn't want that. My whole life I handled everything myself. And I took care of my own problems. And I didn't want anybody. I felt like a beggar. But anyway, he did it, and thank God he did it, because if it wasn't for him right now, there is no doubt in my mind I wouldn't be here. That's for sure. I wouldn't be here. I won't go into it. I won't go into it because it's pretty stupid. The one thing I couldn't handle the pain, and the reason why I couldn't handle the pain, it was because there's a tumor. It's a malignant tumor, but that's beside the point. The point is where the tumor was, and it was wrapped around the nerves that come out of my spine, and there is not enough medicine that can give me leaving the hospital that would numb that pain. The pain was just astronomical, and they tried 2 or 3 times, and both times they rushed me right back in the ambulance. The pain was just very, very bad, and because of the money that Joe raised for me, including himself, Joe now you got to understand this. Joe, everybody our age that been in the horse business knows what it's like, life after the horse business, unless you were a superstar. Unless you got lucky with a young horse or a syndication or something like that, and even then, it's tough, especially when you're raising a family, especially when you're taking care of a father who's very, very sick, and you've been taking care of him for a while now, and every penny counts, and yet I'll never disclose the amount of money that any of you guys gave. I won't tell the names of the people who contributed to this fund that Joe put together. But it was unbelievable. The people, not only just regular people. I'm talking about Hall of Famers. I'm talking about people I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about heavyweight people in the business, and put together a lot of money, including Joe, who I know is having a tough time now with his father, and he's going through a whole lot. So I'm going to take this time on your show now, because I haven't been able to, on my show. I think I come on once, since that time I came on, it's been a horror since then, because they just can't control the pain. I was sent to the Bahamas for my cancer, and it was a tremendous amount of money for alternative treatments in cancer, and they were working. But in between, I had to come back. The reason I had to come back was because I was in Freeport, Bahamas, and in Freeport they don't handle. They don't have. Freeport's like a little, just like a little place. It's the main spot in the meat port, the main space, the main part. I'm all screwed up because of these pills that I'm on. I can't even talk straight. But the main port, the main area in Bahamas is in Nassau, Bahamas. So whenever I went for medication or anything, I would have to go to Nassau. Even the mildest medication, they were back ordered 3 weeks in all the drugstores in Freeport. So it was a disaster. The bottom line was I was in so much pain that they had to ship me back. They flew me back to the hospitals here, and that's where I am now. I'm in and out of the hospitals here. This coming Friday, they're going to do a procedure, and then on Thursday I have an appointment. Not a procedure, but an appointment. In fact, I was just making the appointment when I got the phone call that you were doing this show, Freddie. So Thursday I have a meeting with some specialists that do this kind of thing, and this kind of thing it's scary. It's rare because I basically told them, look, if you can't do it, just cut me in half. I'm not being sarcastic. I mean it. Just cut me in half, put me in a wheelchair, and that's it. If God wants me to live the rest of my life, I'll live the rest of my life. But I can't take this pain anymore. It's just too much. And if that's what He wants me, that's what He wants me. I'm fine with that. But anyway, Friday I'm going for a complete. I think I told Joe about this yesterday. I got a call from my pain management doctor, and he says, "Come on in." I went in, and he says, "There's something here that I think I can help you with." And he told me, he says, "I can numb your whole back. I can numb all your whole back." And he says, but it's not approved, but you'll have to just sign these papers. And
Larry,
Joe
excuse me 1 minute. I think what this is the program, the Right to Try program that Trump got started, and you have to sign away your rights. You can't sue and all of that. It's one of these new methods that the FDA hasn't approved yet. Is that right?
Well, I don't know, because these papers I had to sign and these papers I had to read, I didn't read them. I don't care. I don't care. And I don't care. If you think it could help, just tell me where to sign. I don't care.
Right.
And I'm going for that at 9:30 on Friday. 9:30 on Friday morning, and I'm hoping that it works. If it does work, I'll do the podcast the following week, because I can't sit right now. Just before this, and the reason I'm a little late is I was on the phone before, and I just had to load up with these painkillers. I take these painkillers where if I take a bunch of them, I could manage. It's just I hate to keep complaining, but it's just tough. So, but I just want to, and I told Freddie and I told Joe, I don't want to come on. That's why I don't do the pod. I don't want to come on like I'm looking for pity. I'm not looking for nothing. Like everybody that knows me, my whole life, I took care of myself my whole life, and that's the reason why when Joe Guarino come with this money and told me what he did. It was. I could tell you. I started to cry. It was the first time in my life ever that anybody ever did something like that for me, except for naturally my cousins or my family. I just want to thank Joey, and especially when I know. Especially when I know the situation that Joey is in. And Joey's the same kind of guy like me. He'll handle his own situation. He don't need nobody to handle anything for him. But Joey's the kind of guy similar to me, where if a friend has a problem, he'll take care of the problem for his friend as well as he'll take care of the problem for himself. And now I feel terrible, and that's why I didn't want to do him, because I made my problem Joe's problem, and I didn't mean to do it.
Larry, you're giving me too much credit again. All I did was what you would have did for what you've been doing all your life, and you deserved it. There's a lot of horsemen that helped you. It wasn't me. I just made the phone calls. That's all I did. So people wanted to help you, Larry. So don't give me all of this credit. I just did what I thought was the right thing to do. I knew you were going to get mad a little bit, but you know what? I just said, I got to call a shot. I'm doing it, and that's it. And thank God it worked out pretty good. And I want to thank everybody. You got Hall of Famers, you got grooms, you got everybody donated. So we thank you all.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, I just want to bring up on your concentration. You concentrated with the horsemen. And you had, like you said, grooms right up to Hall of Famers. We had top drivers, top trainers, friends of Larry's all came forward and stepped forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the people from the podcast called me up, and, I'm still getting money in now because people just finding out about it. So, it's, who knows? I don't know how long it's going to go on, but I'm glad people are finding out, and thank God we got it together.
Hey, Larry, how long were you in the Bahamas, and how long have you been home now?
I was supposed to stay there. The treatment there is for 6 weeks and maybe 7 weeks. After the third week, after the third week they called me in. And they said that the numbers are good, but they should be a whole lot higher. But the reason they're not is because your body your body is so they can't even take an accurate blood test because when your body is in pain, you can't get an accurate blood test. So the lowest my average blood test now is like 190 over 91 or something like that, something crazy where there's a big red thing on the machine that pops up all the time, and if it's a different nurse that gives me the blood pressure machine, they get all nervous, and I says, no, that's only because of the pain, and it's constant all the time, and I hate to talk about it. That's why 3/4 of the call, it's really shitty what I do, because people call me because they care, and I don't answer the phone because I'm so tired of, what are you going to say? How you doing? How am I doing? I want to kill myself. That's how I'm doing. How do you say? People don't want to hear that. But try going through maybe 6 months of this. It's just very, very, very bad. And like I said once, I put myself in hospice, and I just wanted to get it over with. And then between my cousin and what Joey did, I signed out, and that was that. But it's tough. If it wasn't for the pain, oh God, I could handle anything. And I did handle. For those of you who know me, know I did handle everything. Whatever came my way, I handled. And but this is tough. This is too tough for me. And unfortunately, there's nothing that they could do. As far as they say, they got to be an operation. They said that it's so screwed up. It's so screwed up back there that there is no operation. There is no way that the only thing that it would work, and that's what we're doing now, is radiation. We're gonna do the radiation. We're gonna do the radiation so much. We're gonna try to burn that tumor. Well, there's a bunch of tumors, but that one particular tumor, we're gonna burn it. We're gonna try to shrink it down, and that's basically it. That's all that could be done. So that's making arrangements for that on Thursday. On Friday,
that's the ablation process, right, Larry?
Yeah, that's that. I don't say that word because I keep forgetting the word.
Yeah, it's okay. That's the ablation process, where they're burning the tumor and trying to minimize the size so it's not up against the nerves of the spine.
Yeah, it's I don't know how people go through this. I tell you, I don't know. It's just tough. Anyway, I could just say this, and I'm not going to say it no more. If it wasn't for this guy on the phone and all the other people, I wouldn't be around now, because I had other plans for my life. But I owe it to them to give it the best shot I have, and that's what I'm doing, giving it the best shot. And naturally, there's no words that could thank all the people out there that send prayers and well wishes, and that's not the life I led. You know what I mean? That wasn't the world I lived in. That wasn't the lane I took. It wasn't the lane I wanted to take, but it was the lane I wound up in. And I'm so sorry for that.
Lane now, Larry.
Yeah, well. So anyway, so what pleasure do I have being on this show here? What show is it? Freddie's show?
Yes.
Yes.
Harness Racing Alumni.
That's okay. Okay, I know the one now. Okay. Wasn't I was first born on your show?
You were the first person to be on our show like 9 years ago. That's how long it's been. We've been doing the show 9 years now.
Huh. I think I remember that. I think I remembered that Trade Martin, who's part of your thing there, start yelling because he had too much editing to do. Because I think I was either cursing too much or saying things I shouldn't have said or something. I don't know.
Well, that was when we did the real editing where most people, they go when they talk. Well, we removed every from every person, so it sounded like clear sentences. we quit doing that because the time involved in the editing was a killer.
Yeah, there's no reason for that.
Well, Trade was a perfectionist, so.
I know it probably killed him to do it. Joe, while I got you on the phone, Joe, how's your father doing? I know you've been having a major problem with finding a place for him.
He actually, we had a positive meeting the other day. I ended up meeting the COO of the hospital. They wanted a meeting with me, and it turned out that, how could I put it? She knew a friend of my brother-in-law's. So when we found this out, my brother-in-law's friend emailed her and let her know that we were sort of family and we knew each other and everything. So now she's gone above and beyond to help us, where we were battling the hospital for the last 5 months, because they wanted my father out because Medicare wasn't picking up the tab. And but since it was their error from the beginning, they were responsible to find him a safe discharge. And all the places I looked at were horrible, And I says, there's no way I'm going to send my father to these inhumane places. So it was like a big battle. But now they're working with us, and she's trying to help us. So it turned out all right. It's going to work out. But I had to wait like 3.5 months to get Medicaid approval. It's called long-term care. And it's unbelievable, the amount of paperwork and letters and the laws that I had to read about. Thank God for ChatGPT. I never did this stuff, but I tell you, it helped me so much that I could actually sit there and argue against 7 people at once. And what do I know? I'm talking to lawyers. I'm talking to executives. I'm talking to doctors, and I could actually defend myself and my father. So it all worked out, So
and for those who don't know, Joe's father is 90 years old with major health problems. Good, but is in a good state of mind. But I mean, and then unfortunately he fell a few months back, and a couple of other health problems that he has going on.
In the last 2 years, he had to get first of all, my mother died 3 years ago, so they were married 66 years. Okay, so after that, his life was like shattered by that. Then he had to get a heart valve replaced. Then he was in a car accident. Somebody T-boned him. He broke his shoulder. He went through the windshield. Then his kidneys failed. His kidneys failed first. Then he was in a car accident, so he's on dialysis twice a week. And then while he was in dialysis, they left him alone after the treatment, and he fell and broke his femur. So in the last 2 years, he's been in the hospital probably for 20 months between hospitals and rehabs. So it's been hell for the last 2 years for him. And, naturally I go to the hospital every day and do what I could, bring him food and take care of all of his paperwork and be his advocate. And it's been a long haul.
And folks, that's the guy who helped me without asking. Unbelievable. So all I could say is that he knows that there's a place in heaven for him. And I had a long talk with him when he came to see me in the Bahamas, and Joe worked it out where there's a spot for me up there too. So
I didn't work it out. I didn't work it out. You just accepted it, and that made my trip to the Bahamas. So I didn't do anything. I just spread the word.
Well,
alrighty.
I thank you. I thank you for coming down there too. I mean,
well, I thought it was one of the best time I had in the last 10 years. So I think it was
the best time I had. Imagine, I was every day just riddled with pain, sitting by yourself in a room no bigger than a horse stall, 10 by 10, and it was just tough. Anyway, that's enough about me, Freddie. That's
okay.
That's the update. If I will gladly come back on if things work out. I'll tell you about my how the spine thing works out. I wasn't aware that there was that many people in the world that had so many severe back problems. Joe has a couple. I don't know if he wants to talk about the problems that he has, but he has a couple serious problems himself. And but there's a lot of people out there that have major problems with their back, and I think what that thing that Joe mentioned, that if that's true, that President Trump okayed, if there's something out there that's experimental but's working, you don't have to wait to 10 years for.
Yeah, it's called right to try. It's right to try. You sign away all your legal things, and they give you an option. Take a chance with it. If it helps you, it helps you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least you don't have to wait for the Food and Drug Administration to approve it.
I think that's great, because there are so many things like the people like in Bahamas where I went, that just that little stay down there cost me close to $30,000. And while I was down there, because they were trying to keep me there and trying to control the pain, they sent me to another specialist down there for another epidural. How do you say that word?
Epidural.
Epidural. And it was.
That was like $5,000 long, right?
Yeah, that was $5,000 just for the epidural, plus another $1,000 between the X-ray technician and meeting with him, and that whole bit. So,
and like I explained to everybody, there's no credit cards, no cash, no insurance. I mean, only cash, no insurance, no nothing. So it's tough. They got you over the barrel.
Yeah. Listen, one of my doctors just called me now. Is it all right if I hang up?
Yes. I'll close the show out, Larry. We send you a lot of prayers, and we'll try and get some people to send some cards over, too, for some well wishes there. Our prayers and our love are sent to you.
Thank you all very much, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.
Okay.
All right, Larry. Take care. I'll be in touch with you.
All right. Joe, thank you so much for bringing Larry on the show this week.
Larry volunteered. I told him I was coming on, and he said, I'm coming on, too.
Okay. Thank you so much. This week's Harness Racing Alumni Show is sponsored by Winbak Farm Canada's newest stapping, Captain's Quarters. The son of Captain Treacherous is standing his first season with a stud fee of $5,000 Canadian. For more information or to book a breeding, call 905-838-2145 or email stallions@winbackfarm.com. Captain's Quarters. Also, the Meadowlands Racetrack. Visit playthemeadowlands.com. And Hunterton Farm, breeding champions year after year. Visit HuntertonFarm.com. That's a wrap for this week's show. Thanks for listening, and please join us again next week.
The Harness Racing Alumni Show.